Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video, we're going to look over the puzzle pieces of Godzilla 2014. Okay guys, welcome back. So, I have a list here of just little notes that I've taken because usually you guys know I just wing a video, but since the trailer, since the Muto website launch and all the other stuff I've been gathering in my brain, I have so many different directions my brain is going with in terms of ideas of what this movie could be about and some of the other things that supposed to take place. I have to write it down because otherwise I'll just be kind of all over the place. So this is going to be a part one of maybe two videos, maybe three parts of video. And this one, basically, we're just going to look at the puzzle. You lay a puzzle down, you got all the pieces all over the place, and then the next video, we're going to try and put everything together. So, before I get started on the list, I want to go to Wikipedia here and definitely make some quick confirmation. There's some misunderstandings that some people think this is a reboot, some people think it's a remake. This is actually a reboot movie. So, when you reboot a movie, you're going to change some things. You might change the whole thing altogether, where a remake is just taking the original and remaking it, making some slight changes, but for the most part, keeping it pretty much relatively the same, where a reboot can just potentially be a whole different craft. So here, Godzilla is an upcoming American science fiction monster film featuring the Japanese film monster of the same name, Godzilla film franchise. It is the second Godzilla film fully filmed by American studio. The first have been the 1998 film of the same name. The film retells the origin of Godzilla. So his origin is completely different. In contemporary times, as terrifying force of nature, the film is directed by Gareth Edwards and stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, blah, blah, blah. You guys know all that. Obviously, co-production is Legendary and Warner Brothers and will be distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures worldwide, except for Japan, where it's going to be distributed by Toho. Okay, so the synopsis is one quick sentence, but it actually says quite a bit. This is a little bit different, I think, from the website. An epic return to Toho's iconic Godzilla, the spectacular adventure pits the world's most famous monster against malevolent creatures who, bolstered by humanity's scientific arrogance, threaten our very existence. So that clearly tells me that the Muto monsters are the bad guys, Godzilla is the anti-hero. You know, let's go over this list here. And the first thing I want to say is, so far, they're kind of drawing our attention at Godzilla. We've seen the path of destruction. We don't know for sure that he's causing all of this destruction, but they're making it seem that way. We saw in the trailer the Halo jump. Obviously, he's in San Francisco. It's a mess. What about the Muto? Why have we not seen them? Why have we had very little of them? And now we're all, like I said before, we've been taken back by the fact that it's an organization. So here's my puzzle here. I got all the pieces. Boom. So we can safely speculate that Ford, his father, and his stepmother, played by Juliette Binoche, his father played by Bryan Cranston, are in Japan. I believe Juliette and the father, obviously from the movies, you could probably see that they work together. We know that the Mutos is an organization, or the Muto is an organization, and so far we've seen together that it's worldwide. Whether it's a worldwide organization or whether the events surrounding them take place worldwide, but it's one of those two, if not both. We know that the theme of the movie is nuclear and nature. We know that nature is represented by these monsters, and nuclear, we all know that Godzilla has a radiation background in terms of, you know, his creation and how he's created. We know that they're going to have a scene set in 1954. I don't think it's going to be a flashback. I think they're just going in that direction to try and kind of play a little bit of homage to the original film, but I don't think it's going to be anything related to the original film. Ken Watanabe, for those of you who've been correcting me for the past couple of weeks, I hope I got that right. I have been pronouncing it wrong. For those of you who've been correcting me, thank you very much. Appreciate that. We know he's playing a character called Dr. Serizawa. However, again, I don't think this is linked to the Serizawa we're aware of. I think They're once again honoring the original movie by putting a character in with the same name. If he is connected to that, then he could be a relative of some sort. We know that Serizawa died, never got to marry, never had kids. Yeah, so we know that Serizawa's in there. Ken Watanabe is going to be playing him, and I think, my personal opinion, there's no connection to the original Serizawa. I think he's been given that name just to play homage. Now, here's the interesting one. Akira Takarada. Of all the cast members listed who have a role and have a character name, he is the only one that does not. So here's my theory. Because it's so secretive, I think he is playing either a higher up or the man behind the Muto organization. That's my opinion. That's my theory. I'm not saying it's concrete. It's speculation. But it kind of makes sense to me because the big mystery right now really is the Muto, not Godzilla. We pretty much know what Godzilla looks like. We pretty much know his path of destruction. We pretty much know what he's all about. We don't know a goddamn thing about the Muto. All we know is that they're an organization. All we know is that they do scientific experiments on either monsters or insects, animals, or whatever. I think Akira Takarada's character plays a role in that organization. The big bomb that they show in the trailer that many people think is a nuke, I don't think that's a nuke. Some people think it's the oxygen destroyer or a bomb that has to do with oxygen or destroying oxygen. That's very likely, but I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that it's something completely brand new, not a nuclear bomb, not related to the oxygen destroyer from 54. I think it's just a new weapon crafted by humanity in an attempt to stop the creatures. It's just too damn big to be a nuke. I mean, you can have a large megaton nuke, and it doesn't have to be in a bomb that size. So, and if what I've heard from the script, because there was a script leaked, I'm not saying the script is accurate. It's just something that was shared to me by Joshua some time ago, and obviously it's been around for a while. But there's a part in the script where they have Geiger counters, or I think that's what it's called, that measures the radiation. So obviously with that technology, they got to know that Godzilla is nuclear. I don't think they would use a nuclear bomb on something that probably gets its power from it. So I think it's a completely new weapon. Not oxygen, not nuclear. It's a brand new weapon, maybe like a particle destroyer or a something that destroys cell. I don't know. Something crazy that they'll just make up and use some scientific fact or fiction as to why the weapon works the way it does. Now, the Muto monsters. Here's the interesting thing. You go to the Muto website, you know that the word monarch is commonly used to refer to some of the responses you get when you type in a word. We know that the original concept trailer from 2012 has what many people believe is a centipede that's charred in the center of the city or whatever. I don't think that's a centipede. I think it's a caterpillar. No, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. We know that there's possibly an evolutionary path that these Muto are going to follow. We know that they're probably insectoids, and we know that some of them are subterranean based on the sinkhole theory and all this and all that. The reason I believe it's a caterpillar is there's a very, very popular butterfly called the monarch butterfly. We know that one of the Mutos are going to be a flying monster. And if this evolutionary theory holds true, well, to get to a butterfly or maybe a mutated butterfly, you got to be a caterpillar. Now, here's the interesting thing, and I'm going to link this down the bottom. I found a list of probably some of the most popular caterpillars/butterflies. I'm going to share the list in the link. And when you get to that link, I want you to look at, it's a top 10 of the most beautifully but dangerously toxic caterpillars. And I want you to take a look at number 4, the cinnabar moth caterpillar, which is black and red. It's like a black stripe, red stripe. And look at its little legs. And then I want you to read the description really quick. It says here, have a taste for bitter tasting chemicals, feeding on chemicals. This goes back to the theory that I mentioned before with the whole smog monster thing and how the smog monster feeds on pollution and factories and chemicals and things like that. Very similar. And remember, I told you, it's not that I was saying Hedorah was going to be in the movie, but I think this is a link. And I think this is a very solid lead. Not a guarantee, it's speculation. You guys know that's what I do. But take a look at the picture. It's a very interesting picture. The other reason I thought it was a caterpillar too, the arms. Arms. Centipedes have long, long legs, where caterpillars are a little bit more on the inside. Centipedes are more elongated legs. And you can clearly see that here, very similar. If you just picture this caterpillar flipped up on its back. And then I want you to take a look at number 6 on the list, which is the monarch caterpillar. Read the description, very interesting. Caterpillars do not live subterranean, I will say that. But again, if what they show in the trailer from 2012 or 2013 holds water, then we know that perhaps the Muto, there could be a set of arachnids. We know that there's spiders that live underground, the wolf spider, tarantulas. These spiders live underground. So we could get a combination of a spider and perhaps this monarch butterfly or a monarch caterpillar, whatever, is like the grand creme de la creme of Muto organization. That's their, that's their all-star of Muto monster. So those are my pieces. I'm going to put these pieces together, and I'm going to come up with my second plot theory in the next video. So thank you for watching. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And like I said, I'll link this in the bottom. Take a look at that. Go check out Godzilla 2014 on Wikipedia for some more solid information. And I'll see you next video.